The Chusky Boys!
This is Chad with Hemlock. What does a Chusky Boy looks like?
Chusky Boys, what's that?
Chusky Boys, not to be confused with Husky Boys.
The Chusky Boys.
Well, I believe y'all guys are listening to the Chusky Boys.
This is William Duvall, and you are listening to the Chusky Boys.
Heyo.
Hey, week 4, the Chusky Boys. Yeah, we took a week off. We just our shit didn't line up. Our schedules, me and the big boy Dusty over there, it didn't work out, man. But you know what? We're still figuring this out. We're still treading waters. What this podcast looks like when we're gonna do it and all that jazz. But we are committed. We are committed to Wednesdays, to recording on Wednesdays, to get posted everywhere by Thursday, so we can talk about Thursday NFL games.
Sorry I was late tonight. I was busy watching The Bodyguard. I had to put myself back together. That always wrecks me, that movie.
And Whitney Houston in Kevin Costner chemistry is just amazing.
Big boys have feelings too.
You can't refuse that. Chusky Boys have feelings.
Chusky Boys have feelings.
The Chusky Boys. Still love our intro. One of the best things that you're able to put together, my man. And you know what? We're missing any sort of additional interviews. I know you got a couple things lined up, Dusty.
I got some things cooking, some good stuff.
I think we're shooting for next week. We'll have somebody that was kind of helped us piece some of the podcast stuff together. We won't say anything specific just because we're not certain. So we'll see how that works out, but it should be pretty interesting. If it's who we think it is and where they're currently at right now as well. So that'd be a hell of a good recap. So I know
our people are talking to our people right now. So we're putting them together. Our
booking agent is, going through all the, lowercase J's. I got nothing. I sent you Wayne's World. Don't say I. Don't say I.
Cross the T's and dot the
lowercase J's.
Hey, but I just want to say that Chusky Boys episode 4 is not brought to you by BetMGM, but hey, we're open. We're available.
Once
BetMGM,
again, your people
us.
talk to our people, make magic happen. You know what I mean? With
snapping necks and cashing checks,
hundreds of thousands of downloads.
Speaking of cashing checks,
what about?
Go on.
Well, I was just gonna say I had a overseas company download our podcast 100,000 times.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I think we'll make this work one way or the other.
It costs us $4,000, but it's worth it.
I had to throw some money down. The exchange rate really bit me in the ass, and I had to pay them.
Speaking of losing money, I lost Avery. Maybe I shouldn't tell our thousands and thousands of listeners this because they'll stop trusting us, but I lost every single goddamn bet last week. Every one in football. Every one. Player parlays, 2-team. I mean, everything, dude. Everything I bet. And that's like 2 weeks in a row. I won a few 2 weeks ago. Oh, dude, check this out. On my $50 Survivor, which you pick the loser every week. You pick the same team every week if you want. We had $24,000 in this pot. There was almost 500 of us, down to 120 or 30 2 weeks ago. And what was that? The Jags beat the Bills, right? 2 weeks ago?
Like 9-6, wasn't it?
After that week, guess how much money? Okay, so as of that week, we were all, if my math is correct, for a $50 buy-in, we were all like at $175. Guess where they're at after the last week? $3,300 a piece, dude.
Are you out?
Oh yeah, the Jags and Bills game wrecked me.
The Bills game wrecked, yeah.
I
Jags,
felt good
right?
about
You would have
myself.
picked the Jags.
I
mean,
the Jags, yep.
And it just goes back. I mean, all right. I mean, we talked a little bit. We're going to skip our bets that we did 2 weeks ago for week 9 since we missed. I mean, we're just going to be talking about too old as shit to remember, really. But so if we talk about last week, overall, we can get into some of your specific bad beats, because really what we got to tell everybody who's listening to this is that if you want to win, just do the opposite of what you're betting, right? If they did that 2 weeks in a row, they'd come out very positive, and of course you're extremely negative. So, not to the point yet. Looks like it's the same house that you're usually in, so that's good. Doesn't look like you've been kicked out or anything like that. I mean, you still looking Chusky Boy, so I know you eating. You know what I mean? So life can't be that bad. You must have a nice sugar mama. So
I'm eating
she take
good,
care
boys.
of you. She take care of you.
If BetMGM would come on board, it'd help me out a lot.
Dramatically. Filet mignon. Filet mignon. So if we talk about week 10 and just some of the interesting storylines, I mean, it starts with, I mean, shit, dude, it starts with Thursday night's game. I mean, you got Miami at Baltimore and Miami won 22-10. Who the hell saw that coming?
Insane.
And you know what I mean? Like Tua is not that great. I don't even think Tua started. Wasn't it Brissett? But then he got hurt. And
then he came in. Yeah.
Tua came in. And didn't it happen when he was at Alabama too? When it was Hurts, I think. And then Hurts got injured. And the next thing you know, Tua came in and he straight up Supermaned a game. Maybe the championship game. I can't remember exactly. But
dude, Miami's got a bright future, I think, man.
I don't disagree. I think they got a damn good coach over there too. I know there was some discussion about bringing Deshaun Watson over, and I think that fizzled out, which I think is the right move. That kind of litigation and stuff that's going on, you can't trade anybody. You can't trade any high level picks. I mean, maybe if you got like a late round pick for him and it's worth the risk, but I think walking away from that was good.
I don't know if this is legit or not, but I was reading that multiple teams offered 3 first rounders for that dude in the rate like what the trade deadline, I assume.
I can't believe that, dude, that they would.
I don't either,
for
man.
Deshaun Watson.
He wouldn't even give one for him.
I don't think he's worth that, regardless of all this other stuff going on. I think he's a good quarterback, but I don't think he's a game changer. I don't think he's worth that. You know what I mean? Second, third round, he's
definitely
maybe.
worth a couple, but 3 of them, that's
3
insane.
first round picks.
Insane.
I can't, man. It just makes you think about, what was it, Mike Ditka and Ricky Williams, and really betting the future on him, and that didn't pan out well.
It reminds me of the movie Draft Day with Kevin Costner. Speaking of The Bodyguard.
Wow, man, we're really tying in Kevin Costner this evening, dude.
Maybe he'll sponsor us. I have his parents' phone number on my phone.
Interesting.
Is that weird? All right.
Probably. How you got it is probably weirder, but we're not going to get into that.
No,
we don't need any litigation.
All right.
And he used to.
Moving.
Well, Kevin Costner used to own that restaurant in Deadwood, right? What was it, the Star? Or what was it?
Yeah, the
Midnight Star.
Midnight Star, but it was, what was it called? That steakhouse up above Jake's? No, was it Jake's?
No, it was Jake's. He owned Jake's, wasn't it?
And Midnight Star too, yeah.
And did he own both? And he got out of it. I remember reading somewhere that he was really heavily invested in Deadwood, and he was trying to get like some sort of train set up
from Rapid City Airport,
from the airport, with some high stakes gambling, and they turned it down. I think they voted on it and they turned it down. It just wasn't. With the low stakes, it wasn't worth, doing. And
he also bought that land right across from the Deadwood Mountain Grand, or no, from the not Deadwood Mountain Grand. What's the other hotel, that newer one, that casino, just outside of town? The not DMG, club. No, what the hell is it called? You know what I'm talking about, though. Right across, Right. He owned all that land, and then they sold that. Now it's like some kind of like you can drive through it or something. I don't know. Yeah.
It's some of the history and ties to Deadwood and stuff like that are pretty neat. And then they fizzle out for Kevin Costner. Whitney passed away, and things change.
Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Keep going with week 10, kind of recapping that. I think we get to your bad beats here shortly, but I think it ties in. We won't go through every game, but I think it's important that we call out the wonderful Dallas Cowboys putting the ass whooping on the Atlanta Falcons 43-3. And it could have been more if they didn't pull all the starters, which is the right move to do. Dak Prescott ran in that touchdown, or I think it was a touchdown or a first down. I think it was a touchdown, and kind of led with his left shoulder. But I don't know if that was the smartest move the guy ever made, for a game where we already had it pretty much in the bag.
Yeah.
But hell of a good game to watch. A lot of screaming at the TV. We just had everything clicking there. Once again, it's the Atlanta Falcons, but on the flip side, it's kind of a statement game when you get your ass beat by the Denver Broncos 2 weeks ago, which was very unexpected. So.
Well, there's been a lot of, dude, is there any runaway teams this year? There's some good teams, right? You get the Buccaneers are a good team. The Cowboys are a good team.
Yeah, but
Bills are a good team. Is there any runaway teams?
It goes back to that saying, cliche, call it like you will, any given Sunday, any of these games can end up being flipped of what you expect. If we look at last week, a couple call outs, is Detroit and Pittsburgh fucking tied. That's horrible. And poor Najee Harris, he thought he didn't know you could tie. He legitimately did not know that you could tie. That was
rookie.
I don't know if he's trolling the reporter or if he truly didn't know. But Washington football team beat Tampa Bay 29-19 in Tampa. I'm like, it's just that's not what you expect. And if I recall, that kind of rickrolled a couple of your parlays, didn't it?
My buddy, so shout out to my buddy Todd. He always tells me, dude, if you're gonna do 2, 3, 4 parlays, never use the same team in more than 2 parlays. And the Buccaneers wrecked 4 of my 6 parlays just because I was totally sold. Buccaneers got it in the bag. I think I said this, what was it, episode 2? If your team is playing and they're gonna get their asses whooped, just call me up, give me $50. I'll bet on that team, on the favorite team. They'll lose by 30 points, guaranteed. It's unreal, man. It's unbelievable. The bad luck, not just me, but that we're all having. It's just insane. 17-0 Packers over the Seahawks last week. 41-14 Chiefs over Raiders. There was some just 34-10. The Panthers and Cardinals. There's some ass whippings.
The Cardinals on the flip side with the Cardinals, they were missing a couple key pieces.
Major players.
Hopkins was out. We know JJ Watts is out for the year.
Kyler Murray was out.
Yeah, right? Kyler Murray was still out too.
How do you explain the Patriots and Browns? That was wild. Browns they were in New England.
I follow Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy and stuff like that. He's a big New England team. And I think they're the sleeper team. I really think that they're going to come back. I don't know if they're coming back, but they are winning. They're playing good football. I think it goes back to good. Yeah. I mean, they can have a bright right now too. I mean, I don't know. Winning it would be extremely tough, but I mean, 45-7 ass whooping on the Cleveland Browns. That's pretty, that's a statement game.
How about this? I'm going to put you on the spot. Mac Jones.
I don't have him. I know we'll get to it in a little bit. I do not have him as offensive rookie of the year.
All right. Fair.
I think he could be for sure, but it's all about betting, we're taking risk here.
Okay. So Buccaneers, are they in trouble? They're 6-3. They were Rick and rolling for a while. They're not in trouble. Okay.
No, they're not in trouble. I mean, they'll come back and get to where they need to. They'll get in the playoffs and stuff like that. Once again, it's just any given Sunday, but as a whole, you look at it kind of stabilized for some. Philadelphia versus Denver. Denver's a shitty team right now. They're just not, I think they're
lost.
That quarterback they got, Bridgewater cornerbacks. I think Surtain. I think he's injured right now. I mean, 30-13 seems more like, it's the world has righted itself after Denver blew out the Cowboys. And even then, the only reason the Cowboys had 16 points in that game was garbage time, which from a fantasy standpoint really helped me out. Not going to lie. A couple leagues, I bet pretty dang heavy that the Cowboys were going to be offensive geniuses, and it's paid off quite a bit. Not that week. Kansas City 41-14, like I said, with against Las Vegas. Mahomes looked like Mahomes. I mean, he didn't really miss anybody. I mean, he was spot on. The Mahomes that you expect, the MVP caliber.
Mahomie is back.
Yeah. Me and my homies. Jacksonville, I think they're coming around a little bit. I think Urban Meyer's out of the news now for all the stuff he did in that bar. But I never forget. Chusky Boy never forgets.
Good old Stinky Thumb.
Good old Stinky Thumb. But they're getting, Indianapolis 23-17. They did lose, but they're playing good games. They beat the Buffalo Bills. Is Lawrence the future? Maybe. Time will tell. A lot of times you think about a quarterback coming in their first year and just, performing. It's tough. It's National Football League. We're not talking about college anymore. You know what I mean? And so Chargers.
It's the fun league.
The one team that I'm truly worried about, Dusty, that a lot of people had.
LA.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. The Chargers.
LAC. Dude, I was sold on those guys, man.
Yeah.
Week 2, week 3, week 4. I'm like, dude, this Justin Herbert kid is picking up where he left off.
I can't remember which week they lost to the Cowboys. It was a close game. I think it was 27-20. But they don't look good right now at all. Yeah. Herbert does not look good. I think they're getting to him too quick. That they could, hopefully they could course correct. 'Cause I think he does have a great future in the NFL. But right now, if there's one team I'd truly be worried about, I'm not worried about Arizona. Arizona had injuries that they're dealing with. I think Kyler's close to being back for sure. Hopkins soon. I mean, you hate to say it, but JJ Watt gets injured every year, and you just, I think they'll be fine. But yeah, the team that I'm probably most worried about is the Chargers.
So let's step back, since we didn't have an episode last week. Unfortunately, we didn't get enough money from our sponsors to get online. But
the lights on.
we can't glance over the Bears and Steelers game, right? Is it just me? Am I bitter because I'm a Bears fan? Well, you probably kept up with it, Dale, didn't you? At least all the blowing calls.
No, I didn't watch it at all. I'm sorry, dude.
Let's cut this out. Let's cut this. Cut this
hey, we can talk about it, but
let's
you're not going to
cut
get much
this
out.
Well,
Listen,
I mean,
man,
it was Monday Night
Bears-
Football. I was supposed to be at the game with my dad, my wife, and my brother. We decided, in the interest of COVID and my terrible betting habits, we're not going to go. My dad ended up buying a gigantic motorhome instead of
financial instability. Is that what you're saying?
There it is. So at the end of the day, dude, the Bears, I mean, they just got rocked by officiating. It wasn't even the taunting that the Bears got that totally changed the game. Like, okay, so Cassius Marsh,
the samurai kick. I guess I did watch that game.
Who's done that every big play of his career, never had any. It actually wasn't.
So he's done it. So he's done
kick.
it. So big plates at big spots in his career. So he's done it 3 times. Is that what you're telling me?
Probably twice in college. Once in high school, once in college. But it wasn't even that, dude. It was he. I mean, I'm watching it right now. Hopefully, it doesn't interfere. Yeah, the ref bumped into his ass after is it Cassius or Cassius? I'd never even heard the dude before the game, and I'm a big Bears fan. Took one step towards the Steelers sideline. One step. Looked at him, kind of got tough, turned around. They literally called taunting on that, which changed the game.
Kind of got tough.
The NFL admitted to 3 blown calls in that game, all in the second half against the Bears. Now, this begs the question. Now that this is the first year the NFL has ties with Vegas, if you will, they're promoting. How do I say this? I don't want to say this incorrectly. I should look this up beforehand.
Well, they're in partnership.
NFL is in a partnership with Las Vegas, essentially, right? Like several different
They've
betting.
opened it. Yep. So betting's
sports
always happened,
betting.
but I can't remember who their main sponsor is, but yeah, there's true ties
commercials.
Now.
Yeah, there's Adam Schefter is rumored to be quitting wherever he's working for and going to MGM, I believe it is.
I did hear that rumor. Of course, he's with us ESPN right now. Duh.
Now it just makes you wonder, dude. Like all of these crazy games, blowout games, questionable officiating. Now, don't get me wrong. We've always had questionable officiating, questionable calls. I've had plenty of calls go my way as a fan as well as against me, but I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I hope nothing fishy is going on essentially with any of these referees, these big companies. I mean, you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars.
I think, okay, so if you think of COVID and you think of presidential elections, the United States of America thrives on conspiracy theories, man. I'm sorry. I don't think anything's happening. I just think there's shitty calls and people blow it out of proportion. There's replays now, social media.
Right. Yeah.
I really don't think there's anything truly nefarious.
I mean, you've got these 4K cameras and this technology. So a close person to me who actually he might be on the show, on the podcast later on. He actually does an NFL game. He produces an NFL game every week where they do the cameras and all the setup. Dude, it's insane the technology they have for these cameras. How many cameras they have on the field would blow you away. How many cameras they have, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like back in the day, you used to have like the 6 guys, 3 on each ends or 3 on each side, 1 on each end zone. These gigantic cameras the size of a Volkswagen Bug. It's all different now, dude. The cameras are tiny, super high resolution, battery powered. I mean, it's insane. And it's catching. It's what it is essentially is catching the guy. Did he step out of bounds on the 8-yard line or did he make it in the end zone? Back in the 70s, 80s, even 90s, probably the early 2000s, we didn't have this shit. You
didn't have replay either. You didn't have the technology to handle it, the pylon cameras, those kinds of things.
Exactly.
But yeah, to actually look at the replay and how they, the NFL has done it and kind of led the way with instant replay. I think it's really helped the game. In my opinion, it's really helped the game to make sure it's a little bit more even killed. Now there's still judgment calls that the whole Marsh thing and the Karate Kid, that's disappointing. I think that guy was just excited and you just kind of, I don't know, you just shit in his Wheaties, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's disappointing to see, but yeah, if they're out of bounds, if they hit their knee dropped. I always think of there's a Cole Beasley pass. I think it was a couple years ago, and his knee. So it's 2 feet or one knee or elbow, I think, right?
Yep.
And he had his knee down because I think he was called. He wasn't in bounds, and his knee dropped, and they ended up winning the game based off that throw. It's a replay. Sometimes it helps you, sometimes it hurts you, but really it just kind of evens out the game of what's legitimate. But yeah, there's still penalty calls and stuff like that that could definitely be BS, man.
Absolutely.
That'll never go away. You got to think about MLB in the strike zone. That's still a judgment call, and they want to bring it, leverage robots and other technology. And I think that's just too excessive in my opinion.
I think for football,
Greg Maddux should get that corner. You know what I'm saying? He should get that corner. He gets that 6 inches.
I think for football, and I don't know why I feel this way. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm probably wrong. I think for football, all the technology in the world to make it legitimate and fair and right, do it. But for baseball, dude, like there's so much, I don't know. For baseball, let them play it out. You know what I mean? Don't put no damn robots in for.
No, I agree. But I like the instant replay. But it seems like every time it's always in the news that they just botched it. I don't know what's going on with MLB. Hopefully they'll figure that out. Like you can look at it and you're like, dude never tagged him and he's out. And the Braves have been hit hard by that. Of course, once again, let's bring up the good news that they are World Series champions this year. Freddie Freeman's still not under contract, but you know what I'm saying? Like you always get that. It's like, dude, he still hasn't touched him. He's still out. He still hasn't touched home plate, whatever memes that are out there.
I know we talked about that in a couple of weeks ago. So you're probably still pretty high on that, right? The Braves.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Awesome. Now, of course, you're telling the Cowboys because that's, it's football season only now.
Hey,
but
I ain't
MLB,
a hater,
now
but you can't have both in 1 year. No way. You can't have the Braves and the Cowboys.
Listen,
whatever
bro,
your WNBA team is, your lady soccer. I don't care. I don't care. You got one and done.
Listen, I just need you to bet against the Cowboys or whatever. You know what I mean? Just use your gift that you have.
I'll give you my PayPal and my Venmo, all right?
How are you negative $600? How do they let that happen?
Shut the hell up. This commercial brought to you by American Express.
IB broke.
Dusty, you need to call us right away.
Man, that's a voicemail, dude. You should probably answer that. That's not a commercial. They're not gonna let you buy anything, man. And so yeah, still very high on the World Series champions, Atlanta Braves.
So going back to football, we talked about earlier. I brought it up. I don't want to get too far away from this.
Well, and then one more game I think we forgot about, or I forgot to bring up while we were recapping Week 10 was the Monday night game. 49ers, Rams, 31-10.
Dude,
that was totally unexpected as well. There's another one. You think the Rams are pretty solid. They got Matthew Stafford. Yeah, you start seeing the reports last couple of days that Stafford's wife in the crowd threw like a pretzel at a fan. I'm sure a fan egging her on. Still not the right thing to do. But that was also a blowout, completely unexpected, and broke a lot of either parlays and or straight up bets.
That was just
a lot of money was on the Rams.
There's been a few shitty weeks for bettors, unless you are really crazy and you're the kind of guy. I heard a story about Dimebag Darrell from Pantera, rest in peace, about him not knowing anything about football, but loving to bet. He would bet on his favorite towns versus the teams. If you're that kind of bettor, the last couple of weeks probably been pretty damn good to you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure the last couple of weeks with these crazy upsets, you probably would have won some serious cold hard cash. So,
it's the same with betting. That kind of betting ties in a lot with poker, in my opinion. A lot of people who, there's
first time bettors
buy the book, yada, yada, yada. And then other people are like, I think, remember we'd go play poker at Steve's house. No last names, but the Frush, the 2-3 tsunami, drop it down. What are you doing in the pot with 2-3? And it's, it's kind of the same thing when you mentioned that Dimebag Darrell and the whole betting on towns that he likes, probably when he was, on tour, and once again, rest in peace, but I loved Wisconsin, or whatever. So interesting to see how that plays out and stuff like that. And sometimes it's the not having ties to it makes it easier because you're like, oh, the Buccaneers are going to win for sure. Dusty, how'd that go? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's just move on from those. All right. It's
week
tough.
10 recap done. Not good. Moving on. Yeah. Cowboys winning, of course. That was good. And if I recall, your team was on a bye week, so they couldn't lose. So that's nice. And I think it's super important that we do specifically call out that the Detroit Lions cannot go 0-17.
They didn't lose.
They didn't lose.
16-1. First time in
last
history.
2 weeks, also a meme I saw. The last 2 weeks, they're undefeated. 2 weeks ago, they were on bye. Last week, they had a tie.
That is insane. Insane. Talking about
I feel so bad for Jared Goff. What's up, man? I'm sorry.
talking about rookies of the year, Najee Harris, Pittsburgh Steelers. He's plus 1,200 on BetMGM, which surprises me.
That's who I took. Well, I think number one, if there's a couple quarterbacks, I think he's battling with, isn't he?
When Mac Jones, dude,
Yep.
he's
and I mean,
great.
the front runner right now, of course, has to be Jamar Chase. The guy figured out how to catch the football.
By
remember,
$10. Yeah.
Do you remember earlier in the year where he's like, "Yeah, the footballs are different in the NFL." I can't remember what it was. I think he was trolling them. I think he was trolling the reporters, dude. And it's so money that he is definitely the front runner at plus 110. Mac Jones plus 120. I picked. It sounds like you might have picked too. I picked Najee Harris at plus 1,200.
Absolutely, I did. That was my go-to for
then there's a
rookie of the year.
There's a
big gap after that. Yeah, Justin Fields, Kyle Pitts.
They all play for shitty teams, unfortunately. Where New England's playing well, Bengals are playing well, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing okay. And now they're dealing with some COVID stuff with TJ Watt's not COVID, but I think he's injured. He's banged up a little bit. Of course, Ben Roethlisberger's out, and I mean they got a game coming up. Man, I think it's tomorrow. Are they the Thursday?
No, they're not Thursday. Did Minka Fitzpatrick?
Yep, he's on the COVID list too.
Dude, that's like their best defender. Second best defender they have. I mean, he's a
TJ Watt being the one. Yep.
Yeah, TJ Watt.
Yeah, the Thursday night. Sorry, my Thursday night game is New England at Atlanta Falcons. So right there, you're like, well, Patriots going to put the ass whooping on the Falcons. Will they?
I think they will. What's the over on that game? What's the over under? Do you know?
47.
Ooh, that's a good over under right there.
I don't know. I mean, dude,
what's the spread on that? Like 7?
Hang on, 6.5. But if you think about the Dallas Cowboys in their game and whatever the over and under was, I know we missed last week. It was still 43-3. It's 46 points. It was probably higher than that, and the over still didn't hit. You know what I mean? So if they're both playing, I mean, if both teams played better between the Cowboys and the Falcons brought something, to the table.
Yeah,
that over's that's hitting every time. What does the Falcons and the Patriots look like? Now, I don't think the Falcons are going to come back. I think they're going to come back. I think they're going to play a lot better than they did against the Cowboys. But the New England Patriots, I mean, they're just coached well.
The New England Patriots right now plus 2,500 to win the Super Bowl. So you bet $100, you win 2,500. Not a good bet. That's a lot of money though.
Well, that's how you get those, plus 2,500 bet. It's not going to be like,
no, absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Well, I mean, they max out at 100,000, right? Or is it $1 million? It's $1 million. It's $1 million.
Hey man, I ain't worried about those kind of numbers, dude. All right.
Yeah. That's a fool's errand.
Right. So if we keep going,
that's what we say in the biz, a fool's errand. In the losing biz, which I'm a part of.
bet the opposite. Just remember that, everybody. So let's stick to what we were talking about. So it's week 11, or week 11 is coming up. Yep. And so I think you got two things that we could talk about. So when sports betting was finally legalized in Deadwood, you went up there before the season started. So you have some future bets there. Then I think we talk a little bit about kind of the offensive rookie there, defensive rookie there. But let's start with what money you have on the line already with BetMGM for future bets for the NFL season.
Yeah, well, I got a couple AFC and a couple NFC bets here. So let's talk about. I did 4 AFC bets and 3 NFC bets. Let's get my NFC out of the way. All right, I hate the goddamn Packers, but you know what? It's dumb not to bet on the Packers.
Hey, but remember, hey Dusty, can we say one thing? One buzzword. Remember, I am immunized.
I am Chusky.
That's true.
It's the same
thing. One thing is a truth and one thing is a lie. All right, Dusty. Sorry, man. They had to talk Packers. I had to bring it up.
Here we go. I bet Packers to win the NFC North 10 to win $16. I bet Packers to win the NFC 10 to win 75. I bet Packers to win the Super Bowl 10 to win 150.
Now remember, these are all before the season started. Preseason was going on, I think, but before any NFL game dropped.
This was September 11th. Okay. So I bet a couple Bills. I bet Bills $15 to win the AFC, which would net you 98 bucks. Okay, so win 113. I bet Bills to win the Super Bowl. $15 will net you 165, win you 180. And I bet the Chiefs to win the AFC, $20 will win you $60, will net you 40. Not a really good bet in my opinion. And then finally, $20 for the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. $20 would win you a total of 110, net you 90. So yeah, hopefully I think that was $100 total, if I remember right.
Yeah, and
so
you asked
I'll
2 weeks ago. Yeah, you think 2 weeks ago you're like, dude, the Chiefs are they stink, they suck. I think they're bouncing back. I think it's going to be okay. I think it'll be fine.
Most likely, out of these 7 bets, $100, $125, whatever it is, I'll probably only win the Packers from the NFC North, which would get me $16.05. I'll go cash that and spend another $300 in debit that day. So I'm a loser either way. That's
yeah. Remember,
at the end of the day, that's how it goes for me.
Before the podcast started, don't forget that you better hold on to that ticket.
Yeah, might want to hold on to that one. That's a winner.
That's a winner. Throw good old Dumb and Dumber.
300,000.
That's a big IOU. We're still the money. All right, so back to future bets, right? So now, of course, we're talking about week 11. We kind of know where the season's going. Still, of course, it's all about betting, baby, right? So offensive rookie of the year, I think we both said that we're thinking Najee Harris at plus 1,200.
That's why I had.
I did too. I did. Yep. And then defensive rookie of the year, I did go with Micah Parsons. I got to go with my Cowboys. I know he's at a negative 160, so he's kind of favored for it. But I mean, he's just playing lights out. Even the game, he was the one bright spot against the game in Denver. So I'm going with him. Who'd you have?
I didn't really have anyone. I don't know. I didn't have anybody, dude. Yeah, I can say, I mean, it's easy to say Parsons, because he was such a
it's a huge gap.
Player.
I mean,
yeah,
Micah Parsons at negative 160, and then Surtain, who I don't think he's injured for the year, but I think he missed a couple weeks, is at plus 900. So I mean, there's a huge gap there. So I feel you, but that I'm going with my Cowboys guy.
Yeah, no, that's a good bet. I can't honestly say that I had anyone or had him, but there's no doubt that he was a force to be reckoned with. But I just didn't pay attention as much.
Well, and how they shifted him around with DeMarcus Lawrence being out. I mean, he picked up the defense really well, and they're playing good. Quinn's defense is playing, like I said, I wouldn't say lights out against Falcons, sure, but they're playing pretty well. Seeing a lot of turnovers too.
Oh yeah, they're damn good.
Diggs has the most interceptions in the league right now.
Absolutely.
MVP once again. Well, I'll let you go first on this one. Who do you got
for the league?
Yep.
League MVP. Oh,
yep.
The league MVP this year. That's
I'm going with Dak Prescott once again. Going with Cowboys plus 700. His TD to interception ratio, what he's bringing to the table when he plays, minus the Broncos game. Amazing, great year.
Dude, I'm. You know what? I'm probably way off on this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Stafford.
Stafford, yeah, that's real close. So kind of how that lines up is you have Jared Allen at plus 200. Tom Brady plus 400, Dak Prescott plus 700, and then Matthew Stafford at plus 900, Lamar Jackson at plus 1,000, Aaron Rodgers plus 1,100. So, I mean, a lot of quarterbacks up there as always. But yeah, I agree with I think that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Once again, they got blew out, but I mean, everybody's having a bad game. Like, if you look at if you talk about those top 4, and we can even go to Lamar. Actually, we'll just talk about the top 5. We'll talk about the top 6. Sorry. So Josh Allen just had his shitty game last week, right? Lost to the Jaguars. Completely unexpected. Tom Brady, right? They just lost to, help me, Dusty, drawing a mind blank. Who'd they lose to this week?
Who's
Washington football team, right? Yep. Dak Prescott. First game back from his, being out with the calf injury. Lost to the Denver Broncos. The other loss that they have currently, of course, is against Tom Brady, which I think is legitimate. Matthew Stafford, 49ers putting the beat down on him. Lamar Jackson, Dolphins putting the beat down on him. Aaron Rodgers, the first week. Who'd they play? Who'd they lose to the first week?
The Saints.
The Saints. That's right.
It was like 38-3, I think. 35-3. Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, not good.
No,
terrible.
We're not conspiracy guys, but we know there's some things you can't explain. after the turmoil in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. I'm not talking about this stupid COVID thing. I'm talking about beforehand, how he wanted out of Green Bay and he's in his pissing match. Is that bizarre to you? Even though I know he missed pretty much the entire preseason, which doesn't really matter in my opinion. Was that a statement game for Aaron Rodgers on purpose, do you think?
That first game?
Yeah.
I think so. Or he was still disgruntled and who knows what's going on in that locker room or anything.
Sure.
But you're just like, you almost felt like he didn't care. He's just Aaron Rodgers is his philosophy. He's a weird guy. I mean, he's different, unique, whatever you want to call it. And then you do talk about the last week with the whole COVID stuff and being immunized, and yet he's actually not immunized. But to tie that in,
he's immunized. He ain't vaccinated, but he's immunized.
That's right. I don't get it.
Goofball.
Like against the flu. Anyway, so I did put Super Bowl though. I did go with the Packers at plus 800. I think they have the most complete team, as long as everybody can play.
In the NFC or the NFL?
To win the Super Bowl. Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
I'm
wow.
saying,
Okay.
I'm saying,
Good.
I think they have the most complete team. Aaron Jones is going to be out 1 or 2 weeks with that MCL sprain, but Dylan stepped right in and he plays a hell of a game too. I mean, I think Green Bay has a chance of winning it. That's who I put. Who'd you put? Now that it's week 11, right? I know you put Chiefs and Packers earlier, but
yeah. So I put the Bills, Chiefs, and Packers earlier, and I'm so let's just say Bet MGM has Bills plus 550, which is the most favored. The Buccaneers plus 650, Packers plus 800, and Cardinals and Rams plus 900, with the Cowboys plus 1,000. I'm gonna do. Well, my AFC team, if I can do an AFC team, is obviously the Bills. But for my NFC team, I'm gonna go with Green Bay, dude. Because I'm terrible at betting. I hate Green Bay. The world's against me.
Being that
so
you're
it only
a Bears
makes
fan,
sense.
yeah, yep.
It only makes sense to choose Green Bay. Let Aaron Rodgers have one more Super Bowl. And where's my slip set? How much will that make me here? Not enough. But if the Packers win this Super Bowl, I'll win 150 there. Plus, I will win for the NFC 75. That's 225 plus 16. I'll win 225, 241 is what I'll take home. So hey, I'll take it. Packers, as long as Aaron Rodgers is no longer a Packer after this Super Bowl.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. He has that. I think that.
There's no way
he
he's leaving, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He can. After this season, dude, like he can leave if he wants to. There's no way he will. There's no way he'll.
Now with Devontae Adams, everybody. I mean, yeah.
They're a stud, dude. That defense. What was that? What did I see? I should have screenshotted this. The Packers facing the top 3 fantasy quarterbacks this season give up 30 total points to the quarterbacks. Fantasy points this season. Like, that's insane.
I believe it, man. Yeah.
That is insane. That defense steps up and they're a well-coached team. I hate them.
Yeah.
But they're a good, well-coached team. You never know, dude. Your Cowboys, you might pull I don't want to say a hat trick, but 2/3 of a hat trick.
They shit the bed, I think, during national games and some of those real big pressure games. I would love to see it, man. But you also said, like, I can't have the Braves and the Cowboys, so I'm still basking in the Atlanta Braves World Series champions. All right, so week 11, right? Week 11's upon us, starts tomorrow with once again, it was the Falcons versus the New England Patriots in Atlanta.
Patriots minus 6.5. Way not enough points, dude. I'm gonna bet heavy. There I go again, betting heavy. I'm gonna bet heavy on the Patriots, man. I'm gonna cash out all my Chusky Boy stock and bet heavy on the Patriots.
So instead of going through all the lines, did you pick 4 top bets that you liked?
You go first.
All right. So what I got, top one that I like, it's a rivalry game, Green Bay at Minnesota. So the Packers versus the Vikings. I'm taking Green Bay at -2.5.
That is way too low points right there. Can we bet the same teams, the same games?
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Okay. That's a gimme. Okay, go on. Sorry.
And then, so are you doing the same bet there?
Absolutely. That's my shoe-in.
Shoe-in. Washington football team at Carolina. I'm going Carolina at -3.5. Superman is back. He let everybody know. He scored 2 touchdowns. First touch when he first went in. I thought he was going to get tackled. It was a quarterback run, went to the right, got it in, and he's like, I'm back. I'm back. And his hair is just awful. It's so awful. But, whatever. He's an individual. Let him be an individual. But I think the Panthers are back. McCaffrey's playing. I don't think he's playing that great yet, but it might take a while for him to get back up and running. I'm taking the Panthers, -3.5.
I'm going to go. So I've got the easy one, which is the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. They're at Minnesota. I don't care about that. Easy cover for the Packers. They're going to win by 11 points or more. My next one is the same game. The over-under is 49.5, right? Which is, if you think about it, that's 7 times 7 is 49, I think. So that's 7 touchdowns plus a point. I'm going to go the over on that. Minnesota's got a high-flying offense. They're going to be down early. I'm sure of it. They're going to be down by 2 scores by second quarter. They're going to be hurling the ball, and then Green Bay is going to pick them off with Aaron Rodgers all day long. So I'm going to do.
You just don't know, man. You just
I do know.
Game. I know, but you look at the last game that they played, Packers versus the Seahawks, and the Seahawks scored 0 points. Russell Wilson was back. He's got Lockett. He's got Metcalf. And I know they don't really have a running game right now, Carson out, but you just expected a little bit more unless, Russell Wilson's really not back yet. And even then, the Packers didn't score a lot of points either. So I don't know, man. It's so tough. It's so tough. That's what making betting so interesting. All right. So my next one, Bengals are coming off their bye week. They're against the Raiders. Of course, we know what the Raiders in the rug situation. I just don't like the Raiders. I really don't. I'm going to go with the Bengals, -1.
I seen a meme the other day. You know how companies have their 18 days without an incident or 18 safe days or whatever.
Yeah.
I seen one. I seen one for the Raiders that had 3 days without an incident.
Oh Lord,
not
horrible.
Funny.
Horrible.
Terrible. It is terrible. Rest in peace. Okay, so my next one is again. I don't know. To me, it's a gimme.
They're all gimmies.
Dolphins.
You're so good at it.
Dolphins at the Jets. Dolphins -3. I think Tua is playing. I'm positive he's playing. I'm gonna go Dolphins with a -3. There's no way they're not gonna hit that. There's no way in hell. Dolphins are gonna win by 10 points or more. So,
but dude, the Jets are playing Flacco, man. Are you sure you still want to lay them?
He's elite. Yeah, absolutely. Even more so.
Even more so.
Dolphins -3.
At least with White, you got a wild card, and Wilson's not ready to come back yet. But I would feel a little different if White was the starter. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. All right, so I got to go.
Cowboys.
Yeah, the Cowboys Chiefs. I think the spread is a negative 2.5 points, if I recall. Yeah, but I'm not going there. I'm going heavy on that over at 55.5 points, man.
Really? Okay.
That should be a lot of.
Dude, that's 8 touchdowns.
I know, man. After Mahomes' game, I say that because he's my quarterback in one of the fantasy football leagues.
That's my quarterback.
5 touchdowns. That's my quarterback. He's looking great. The Cowboys have a tendency to give up points. The Chiefs' defense is not great. Cowboys have Gallup back. They have everybody back, right? Yep. I don't know if Tyron Smith is on the offensive line is back or not.
Yeah.
So I do think once again, it's going to be a high scoring game, but who knows? We'll see, right? Time will tell. That's a lot of points. It is a lot of points, but if there's teams that can score a lot of points, is them.
Well, I'm going to tell you our tens of thousands of listeners are very lucky this week. So I'm going to give you 2 more. One's a runner up that I'm not actually going to lock in at all, but that would be the Steelers at the Chargers. Again, this is my runner up to my top 4 picks. Normally on this one, it'd be pretty simple for me, but there's another easier one for me to take. Steelers are +5.5. I'm gonna go the Chargers -5.5 all day long. They couldn't beat the Lions, and they had to cheat to beat the Bears. Chargers would normally stomp them by 26 points instead of 6 points. Okay, so this is my actual one though.
Bonus. All right, give us your 4th.
That was my bonus. That was my bonus. Ravens are coming to Chicago. Chicago's +6. I am not going to take the spread. I'm going to do the over 45. Both secondaries for the Ravens and the Chicago Bears are terrible. My boy Michael Fabiano says Justin Fields is a top 5 start this week. The Ravens are always going to start all their offensive players. They have a high-flying offense. Dude, this game is going to put up a bunch of points. I guarantee you there's going to be at least 15 points, 14 points per quarter scored, which 15 times 4 is what is it, 60? So to me, 45 points is easy.
The one piece I just want to make sure you're aware of, I do think, and it came up on my phone earlier from, I think it was Yahoo Fantasy Football, Hollywood Brown is questionable. Probably will play, but just keep that in mind.
Yeah, I didn't get it, but dude, the Bear, yeah, no, I understand. I seen that too. I'm still going over the 45. If it was 50, 51, I'd be hesitant. Like the Bills and Colts are 50 points. I'd be hesitant, but 45 points to me, that's simple. That's easy stuff.
My bonus pick that I'm going to go with, and it's a really low over actually, because there's a couple other ones that I had lined up with this. The Saints at the Eagles. I'm going to go with the over at 43.5. Not my top 4, but I think there's a lot of potential there. I know Jameson Winston, of course, is out for the year. Yep. I think Kamara's back. Ingram, I think, did pretty good filling in. Not fantastic, but even then, it's very, very low total, 6 touchdowns.
I picked him up on Ingram on my.
I did too.
I'm 8-2 in that league too, and he did pretty well. So
I picked him up. He scored 16 points. I left both the Bills because the Bills are splitting between Singletary and Moss so much. I'm like, I just didn't like it.
Dude, the really Bills don't have a lot of great fantasy players, do they? And like they don't.
Diggs probably. I mean, on the good weeks would be they spread the ball around with Knox and some of these other people that you're like, very like not round 2, but tight end 2. You know what I mean? Like just not. I hear you. I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with spreading the ball around, stuff like that. Super important though too. But once again, one of your bad beats you have with Cooper Kupp. I mean, guy touched the ball like 10 times. I think he had 12 targets or whatever and 122 yards. Never hit touch. Never got in the end zone. So,
but he's still a good fantasy. He's a good starter every week, no matter.
Oh
what.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm not saying from a fantasy football, absolutely, but also from a parlay perspective or a anytime touchdown, first time touchdown. Those kinds of bets.
Yep.
Also. So that's it, man. That's our week 10 recap, week 11 upcoming. And we even talked about some future bets, some that you've already laid some money on. But always remember to bet responsibly, Dusty. Make sure them bills get paid. All right. That baby mama, she ain't going to support you forever. You know what I mean?
Well, I have the good news. Tomorrow morning, my orthopedic surgeon's going to reset my broken leg. And that's going to be good to go. So next time I lose a whole bunch of money, if they break it, I'll know exactly what to do. I'll go right to this certain doctor and he'll reset it and no
cash
surgery
only
required.
Deal.
Yeah.
Cash only deal.
He's actually a veterinarian.
Keeps it cheap.
But he's
but when I'm there, I get to pet all the animals. It's kind of a win-win.
They have emotional support cats and it's fantastic.
Oh, that's horrible. But hey, Dusty, you remember what I always say. If you're not chubby,
you must be husky.
But you're not husky. What are you?
Let me think here. Hold on 1 second. Oh, you're Chusky.
Chusky Boys. Week 4 in the books. We will see you next week. Thank you and good night.
Peace.